What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done in a while, and that's modeling a famous building. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be modeling the Rolex Learning Center by Sana. It's this beautiful building. It's sort of a blend between some landscape and a building. It looks really cool, and just like any cool building, it's difficult to model in Revit, but I think I found a very cool solution for modeling something like this, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in today's tutorial. But before I get started, I would just like to ask you to like this tutorial. It helps me out a lot, and if you haven't already, I suggest you subscribe because I make 3 tutorials every week. And if you want to download the final project file that I'm going to be creating in this tutorial, check out my Patreon. First link in the description. You can get access to some advanced courses as well as all of my complete project files, over 200 files so far. So without further ado, let's get into the project. So as you can see over here, I am in Revit, and I'm going to be using the architectural template for this project. And before we can model anything, we really need to insert some sort of an image that's going to be showing us our building. But the problem with entering an image for a building like this, as you can see here, I've got a floor plan, but this floor plan has some kind of contour lines that I'm going to be using to model this building, or to help me model the contours of this structure. But the problem is, if I insert this image here in Revit, if I go here in Revit and just insert the image in maybe the site plan. So let's perhaps go to site plan, and let's say here I want to insert the image. So I go to insert image, I go to desktop, and here I find my floor plan, hit open and place it there. If I go into 3D, I cannot really see that, and I want to be able to model this in 3D. So the only solution I found for cases like this is this. So what I'm going to do is go to architecture, and I'm just going to be placing a floor, just a large floor like this. Once we have this floor, we have a surface on which we can host a decal. Decal is basically a way of inserting an image into your project file, and it's going to be visible in 3D. So I'm just going to go here to insert, and we have this decal option, and I'm just going to go here to decal. You go here to create new decal, and then let's just call it floor plan. Okay. And here we have the option for source. That's where we link our floor plan. Hit open, and there it is. So I'm just going to hit OK now and just place it like this. Just zoom in because it's going to be way small. So just like that. And in this case, you can't really see the image. The problem is we're here in hidden line, but if I switch to realistic, now we can see this floor plan. Of course, it's way too small, so let's extend it a bit. Let's make it larger. Okay, but we need to really scale it, and here fortunately I've got this kind of a scaling ruler, and this, as you can see, is going from 0 to 20 meters, so I'm just going to use that as reference. Before I scale, I'm just going to type in UN to change the units from millimeters to meters, hit OK, OK again, select this decal. Yeah, for decal you can't really select it by clicking on the inside, you have to click on the edge of the image. And once you select the decal, you go and you scale it. Now the problem is you can't just go here to the scale tool. You need to kind of scale it like this, and then you need to measure. So let's measure it now. It's something like 10 meters, so we need to have this be double the length. So something like that. This, I think, will do. So let's try this. Let's now measure. Of course, I'm not going to be overly precise. This is just like a test project. Okay, we can make it just a tad smaller. So let's go like that. And let's remeasure again. Okay, that's about 20, maybe just a tad smaller. Okay, let's say this is now a correct dimension. Let's place it just like this in the center. And now I'm just going to select these elevation markers and kind of move them out of the way of the image. This one as well, this one too, and the final last one here. Okay, and the point of this whole floor plan is if I now go into 3D, and look like this and turn this to realistic. Now I can finally see my image and I can see those contour lines and I can start modeling this in 3D. That's what I wanted to do. So this of course needs to be modeled as an in-place mass. There just isn't any different way that you can get this contoured surface. That's probably pretty much the only way, is by using a in-place mass. So I'm just going to go here to massing and site, find this in-place mass option. Now it's going to turn on show mass, so leave that on. Let's just call it mass 1 for now, and let's go into site plan. Okay, once we're in site plan, I want to add some profiles. So this will be modeled as a series of splines, and those are these splines, and those splines are going to be hosted on some profiles. Well, those splines are going to be profiles from which we're going to be creating this surface, and those profiles need to be hosted on some reference planes. So let's place those reference planes. I'm going to go here to reference plane, and let's place it here on the edge of the decal, the first one. And once we have the first one, I'm just going to go here and select it. And can I copy it? Yeah. So I'm just going to go to copy, and let's go with multiple. Let's see. Let's place a bunch of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's exactly what I want to have. And now, just to make it kind of the same distance between these, I'm just going to go into DI for dimension, and let's dimension all of these. And go here into EQ, and now as you can see, they're at equal distance from each other. Now I can delete this, and now we have just our reference lines. Now I'm going to be starting from this end and moving across to this end, and for that, let's name these reference planes. So I'm just going to be naming them as 1 through 8. So this will be number 1, this is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and yeah, you guessed it, number 8. Okay, so we've got our reference planes, and now we can start playing around. Now, to place this, I'm going to be using reference lines. Now, the difference between using model lines and reference lines, the only difference is once you create form by using this create form option, if you've modeled your model with reference lines, it's going to be way easier to change that shape when the form is already created than if you were to use regular model lines. So that's the only difference. Now here I'm going to go to set work plane and just make sure that the draw on work plane is selected, and then for the placement plane I'm going to choose reference plane number 1, so that's this one over here. And before I start placing my reference lines, I'm just going to go into model lines and place 2 model lines like this, just to have some sort of a leveling measure. So the first one should be at 5 meters from the ground, and the second one should be 5 meters from that one. I'm going to be modeling this as if it were like 5 meters high ceilings, so I'm going to just be using that as a reference. Maybe 6, I don't know. Let's make it a bit larger. Yeah, let's go with 6 meters. Okay, so once we have this, let's now start placing our reference splines. And here I'm going to be using these contour lines. So as you can see here, we've got basically some ridge that's going like this. So this should be kind of popping out. So for that, let's go over here. Let's go with the reference spline, draw on work plane, placement plane, reference plane number 1. So you start over here from the bottom, and then I'm just going to place a bunch of points here, just like that. Final point being here in the beginning of this kind of the where it kind of pops up. So I'm going to do 1 here, 1 maybe here, and then it goes all the way down, and then just place a few here until the end. Now this is going to be ending somewhere over here, so maybe let's pull these in to that kind of place. Okay, this looks really nice. So we've got our first one. Let's make it a bit shorter. yeah, if you're moving the final point, if you just select the point and then go like this, it's going to kind of arc everything. So let me undo that. But if you go to the point, to the end point, hit tab once. Let me just orbit around. Yeah, you select it, you hit tab once, then you select just the point, and then you can do this. So I'm just going to pull it in just a little bit. Okay, so once we have the first profile line, what I'm going to do is now copy it on the other side. So the way you do that, let's first move these two. So we need to use these on the second plane. So I'm just going to change the host to reference plane number 2. And this one we actually need to copy to reference plane number 2. So what I'm going to do is go here to clipboard, copy, paste, aligned with the same place, and now the new one, the copy, is selected, and then we just change the host to reference plane number 2, and there we go. We've got number 1 over here and number 2 over here. Maybe turn this off. Okay, so number 2 is selected, and then we just make some changes. Maybe bring this down, maybe bring this up, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. So that's the second one. So we select these two, move them to number 3. We select this one, we copy it, we paste, align to the same place, and then we change this to 3. Okay, the third one is a bit different because, as you can see, the third one is kind of in the sky. So for the third one, let's select the end here, move it up. Let's select this one, move it up, this one up, this one up, and here maybe move this one down. Okay, so it's going to look something like that. And here on the other end, we have something a bit different. So here on the other end, this should be starting to go just a little bit up. So let's select the endpoint. Again, I used the tab here, and then just like that, just move it up a little bit, and there we go. Okay, so we've got the third one done. Then select both of these kind of lines that are helping us just judge the height, and let's move them to number 4. Let's select this one, copy, paste, align to the same place, and then let's change the reference plane to 4. As you can see, this is going really quickly. Even though it's a complex building, it's not that complex to model. Now let's start from this end. Let's move this way up. As you can see now, this edge is probably at its top height. So move all of these points up. And just one quick tip, if you perhaps don't have enough points, so maybe you haven't added enough of these points, you can always go here to add control point and then click, and as you can see, you've got a new point over there. And if you want to remove it, you go to delete control point and then you select it, and there you go, it's deleted. So just by using these options, you can kind of play around with that. So that's just a simple tip along the way. And let's bring this down, down, and down. Okay, so now we have this kind of the part where this goes up. Is if you can see the contour lines, as you can see, this basically this whole area is kind of extruded up. So we're trying to mimic that, and this is now all the way at the ground at this point. Okay, so let's continue on. Select first these two guidelines, move them to number 5, select this thing, copy, paste, same place, reference plane number 5, there we go. Okay, so once we're here, I'm just going to move this a bit down on this end, so just like that, and then let's try to keep these at the same level. Or actually here, it's kind of going up, so yeah, let's go like that. Here, this should all go a bit up. Again, not completely, but maybe at this height. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, that looks realistic. Okay, so once we have this, let's now continue on. So let's select the let's select the guides first. Select both of them. I go here to reference plane number 6. Select this one, copy, paste, same place, reference plane number 6, there we go. Okay, so now what's going on? If I look at the contour lines at this end, we're all the way down, so select the endpoint again using the tab to select. Is this all the way down? Yes, it is. Then use these lines, so go like that, and here it's starting to go up, I think. Yeah, maybe this one should be down. And this one should start going up, and then here we're all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Maybe start going down just a bit at the edge. So select the line, use the tab, and maybe like that. Okay, I'm happy with this, so let's do the contour lines again. Reference plane number 8, we're getting to the end of this. Copy, paste, same place, reference plane number 7. And yeah, this one is pretty much the same. Maybe, just maybe move these a bit like this. Kind of like that. Okay, we're done with that one. So the last ones are quite quick, and let's go to the final one, number 8. And copy, paste, same place, reference plane number 8. This is getting pretty boring. And here we go. This one just a little bit here. This point as well, this point as well, and I think we're done. Maybe just move all these three, the top ones, just a bit down at the same level as this. I think this will work. Okay, so once we have this, we can now delete these guidelines because we don't want to have them left over. And let's just select all of the reference planes or all of our reference splines. So select all of 8 of them, go create form, and there we go. We've got our form. Now you select the form. Yeah, like that. Go into an elevation, any elevation pretty much. Then go here into copy, or use the shortcut CO for copy. Make sure that constraint is off, multiple, we don't have to turn it on, and let's move it 6 meters up. Okay, I'll go into 3D, so there we go. Now the only thing that we need to do is poke some holes into this thing. So for doing that, we need to go to site plan, but the problem, come on. The problem with the site plan, we can't really see the image that's underneath, so I'm just going to go here to graphic display options and turn on transparency, and now we can see it. Okay, so we've got a bunch of these, so let's go. Yeah, they look like potatoes. Can I use a circle for this one? Hopefully. It works. I'm going to use the circle for a few of those. Maybe this one as well. And maybe this one. Okay, so for the circular ones, because they're easiest, so let's go here, create form, void form, wait for a second, go with this one. Yeah, extend it all the way up, and the bottom one, I just like to make sure that it's going all the way down, so I extend it a little bit, and there we go, it's poking holes into this thing. Is it poking holes through the top one? If it isn't, you just go here to cut, and then you select this, you select that, and there we go. So we've got these 2 cuts. Let's do the same thing with this one, create form, void, and this one, there we go. So it's making holes in both of them. And where's the last circle that we have? Okay, I'm doing the circle first because it's easiest, but I'm going to be showing you, don't worry, how to do the rest. So kind of like this. And again, it isn't poking holes, so we have to go to cut. There we go. Okay, and for the rest of these, we need to use splines, and I'm just going to be showing you how to do that. So let's go with this one because it's kind of the most complicated. I'm going to be using the spline through points because I prefer that, and you just start from one end, and then you're basically placing points along the edge of this thing. So you go like that, all the way around, and you stop just a bit before the end. You go to modify, you select one point, hold the control, select the other point, and then go spline through points, and it's going to close it up. Or alternatively, you can use an arc. I just don't care enough to use the arc, to be honest. And now we just select this thing and go into create form, void form, and it should work. There we go. Extend it all the way up. Yeah, and it's poking hole through both of them. Is it? Let's extend the bottom one too. Okay, there we go. So let's do the rest of these. So let's just go to site plan, and let's do the rest of these potatoes. I'm actually going to speed that up so you don't have to look at it. And here we go, it's finally finished, or the modeling is finally finished. So I'm just going to go here into finish mass, and let's wait for a second for Revit to recalculate everything. And now, just to use this mass, what you need to do is go here to massing and site, go to roof. Now be careful, sometimes if you go with too thick of a roof, it's not going to work, so let's try with 500. Go here, create roof, and it should work. Let's wait for a second for it to calculate everything. There we go. Go here, create roof for the second one, wait for a few moments. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is just select both the image file as well as this ground, and let's delete that because we don't need it. And I'm going to turn off show mass, so we have this beautiful surface. And let's go into hidden line, maybe graphic display options, and let's turn on both cast shadows and show ambient shading. And or maybe if we go here to shaded, it's going to look better. Woohoo! So it looks really cool, and yeah, that's what we get. And what I really like to do with these models, or models like this that are kind of warped and cool, what I'm going to do is just go here into, maybe let's go with level 2. And once we're in level 2, let's go with a camera, and let's place a camera like this. And once we have this camera view, let's go with section box. And level 1, let's do something like this. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so here we go. Let's make it smaller, just a bit smaller. Okay, here we go. Let's just hide this section box and turn on shaded with some actual shadows. And there we go. So we've got this cool looking kind of a 3D perspective section that actually shows the complexity of this whole project. Of course, now you can add to this, add all of the elements and kind of make it look like the real one. But that's how you get to this amazing shape of the Rolex Learning Center building by Sana using Revit massing. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial. If you want to download this project file, again, as I said, check out my Patreon, first link in the description. And if you want to check out some advanced courses, they're all over an hour long. I think I've got like 6 or 7 so far out, and they're really cool, so check that out as well, first link in the description. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share this video, and if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Have a nice day.